On November 15th, we can play Assassin's Creed Shadows, the brand new open world RPG led by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey team, and it will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC. Yes, it's the first current gen only title that seems to improve elements that we love about the series, but it also brings some very unique twist in a setting that we of course wanted for a very long time. I got exclusive info, in-game screenshots. Of course, if you are hyped, leave a like, that would really help me out. And let's go. The game takes place in 1579, the late Sengoku period, just before the Shogun TV show, by the way. Like, if you haven't watched it yet, totally do so, it's amazing and gives you great insights into this setting. Again, Shadows takes place a bit before it though. This should be a time of unrest between multiple clans, and foreigners have reached Japan by ship as well. At the center is a powerful figure named Oda Nobunaga, who during this time was on a path to unify Japan, but this did not happen without bloodshed. And this is what we see at the start of the cinematic trailer, when the troops of Oda Nobunaga completely burn down and destroy the Iga province. This is also seemingly where the two main characters meet for the first time. And this is where it gets very interesting, because instead of picking a male or female character at the start of the game, Assassin's Creed Shadows will have two main protagonists that really seem to play completely different. On one side we have the assassin Naue. She grows up isolated by mountains in the Iga province and is trained by her father to become a shinobi, with multiple shinobis actually coming from this province as well. So when Nobunaga's forces come to destroy her home, she is of course filled with hatred and likely wants to take revenge. Well, she has a hidden blade that will help her with that, and it is very cool. As you likely saw in the trailer, she can extrude it and turn it into a blade to take out the enemies that way. Ubisoft notes that in the game we should be able to use it in combination with a tanto, which like a small blade she has, so like a combat dual wield option from the sounds of it. So it seems like hidden blade combat is back in a way, maybe kind of similar to how Connor used his hidden blade with a knife to counter-attack enemies. And can we take a moment to appreciate her hidden blade design? Is that like a Japanese dragon that we see there? But yeah, she has way more tools, like we saw her use throwing knives. It seems like the double assassination is back with both the hidden blade and the tanto. I think we see smoke bombs here of course, and this has me super excited. The Kusari Gama, which a sickle in combination with a chain, so it should be a cool weapon to keep the enemies far away. But when they get close, you can also easily take them out. Neo had a weapon like this actually, and looking at the gameplay, you can already imagine the things that Ubisoft can do as well. It's kind of like a flail in combination with an axe. And yes, she has a grapple hook. There will be special hook points that we have to look out for, so we cannot climb every wall. But Yasuke, the samurai and other main character, will not have access to the grapple hook. Meaning that infiltrating a camp with both characters will be completely different, as Naue has access to different paths, and Ubisoft says that she can also navigate the world much faster than her counterpart. Now Yasuke has its own perks and benefits, and as you might know, he's based on a real world person. They changed his story a bit to fit the narrative of the game, but they did stay true to his legacy. He was taken by the Portuguese as a child slave, trained as a warrior, and someone who very quickly learned Japanese. Oda Nobunaga was impressed and made him a samurai in his service. Like Yasuke is a brute powerhouse, and these moves are by the way taken from gameplay. Feels like an overpower attack from Odyssey where you could also chain to multiple enemies. But yeah, Yasuke is partly responsible for destroying Naue's home, which might cause some conflict at the start of the game, but they seem to understand that working together is the better option to create change. Yasuke has an arsenal of more heavy weapons, like we see him swing around the cannonbow in the trailer. I really missed the heavy maces in Valhalla, so I'm happy they are back with of course a unique twist. And I love how Yasuke can use it with one hand as well to break the enemy's weapon. Probably a skill or ability maybe comparable to the break shield from Odyssey, but yeah, now it will render the enemy completely useless, so it will likely look around the area for a different weapon to use. And also this looks a lot like the overpower attack from Odyssey, where it would send enemies flying as if you are hitting a home run with a baseball bat. And maybe I'm reading too much into this, but seeing the katana on his waist makes me think that we have two weapons again that we can switch between, similar to Origins and Odyssey, with likely the smaller blade called the wakizashi used to assassinate enemies. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but we do not see a bow used in this trailer or on the back of a character. Like, I'm really curious if ranged combat will be a thing in this game apart from the tools Naue can use. Now we do see enemies use guns, like that would of course be really cool to have a firearm again with maybe a limited use and of course not handy for stealth. But the ranged playstyle was a huge part of Odyssey and Valhalla with their own skill tree and builds you can make. Seems like Shadows will step away from that. But completely new are destructible environments. Both characters should be able to destroy many objects, and while we don't have many examples, we did see Yasuke break a Soji door, which we will be able to do in-game as well, and Naue can actually assassinate people through these doors. So basically what was possible in Ghost of Tsushima as well, but then divided between the two characters. Again, and next to their background and stories that will intertwine, these characters really sound very different. It's a big step up from Syndicate, where the twins were basically the same apart from some high-level skills. And it overall really tackles the critique people had with Odyssey, that it was not an Assassin's Creed game anymore. Well, now it's up to you. Do you want to use tools and stay in the shadows? Play Naue. If you like the brute force approach more, then play Yasuke. And this could be kinda wild for replayability, so I hope that New Game Plus is something they already have in mind for post-launch. And you already saw some in-game screenshots. While Ubisoft did not talk about the upgraded engine they are using yet, you do see some nice graphical improvements, especially when looking at the character models that look really sharp. Love the snow on Yasuke's armor in this shot. The locations look great too, but it's mostly thanks to the Japanese aesthetic. I'm not really blown away by the graphics in any way, but we will see how it looks in gameplay that we should see at Ubisoft Forward on June 10th. And I'm in love with the concept art that looks insane, showcasing the mountainy terrain with walls, buildings like huge settlements. Valhalla really missed those beautiful landscapes that both Origins and Odyssey had as well, so I'm glad we're now back to a setting that will be visually more impressive. And we really only scratched the surface of what the game has to offer. Ubisoft talks about how the exploration system is redefined and centered around a spy system. And according to leaks that have proven to be right, this should be about a commander in a camp that we can choose to kill or spare after infiltrating that camp. If you kill them, you get the loot, so their equipment, but if you spare them, they will become a spy and give you intel on new missions. Ubisoft also notes that the world should be ever changing, so high chance we see a new version of the conquest battles for each region, where control of the area or maybe the camps can change over time, so you have to conquer them again. They also mention a fully customizable player hideout, yes, a new evolution of the settlement system. Also no footage of this yet, but we should be able to choose the location of where we put particular buildings and change the look of the roofs and layout as well. And I'm actually doing a giveaway for the Ultimate Edition of the game that includes some new settlement cosmetics, like furniture, I think, that you can actually put inside the buildings. It also has 3 days early access to the game. A link to the giveaway in the pinned comment. You have to be a subscriber of the channel if you want to enter. And by the way, if you plan on pre-ordering the game, use my code JorRaptor at checkout in the Ubisoft store and I get a small percentage for that. So it's a nice way to support me if you want. And this is just the kickoff of the Assassin's Creed Shadows coverage until launch and beyond, of course. We're already working on the next video with way more brand new details. So just subscribe to not miss it. A like would of course really help me out. And check out another Assassin's Creed Shadows video by clicking on the screen and share your thoughts of course in the comments, and I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.